How is Succession Ranger? That's a long answer. My best attempt to answer that in short is okay. This video is mostly about PvP, but I just want to quickly name a thing or two about the PvE. In PvE we are fine, we do okay, we are not the top of the meta, but we are not in the bottom either. I think we have a decent spot at the moment. Personally, I would like to see some more mobility in between packs and maybe a little bit more damage on our filler abilities, which is coming next week by the way. But to talk a little bit more about the PvP side of things, it is a little bit more complicated. I think that when we are talking about PvP, we have to split it into two, because there is small scale and there is large scale, and those two things is completely different. I think the Rangers have some big weaknesses, and I think they have some very clear strengths. Whenever you ask other Succession Rangers what they think, you would get the answer that we are bad at small scale, but we are very good at large scale. And I do agree, partly. Because I do not think that we are that bad at small scale, and I think that we are great at large scale. Let's just talk duels for a second here. I think that most classes in this game, they have matchups where they are in favor of winning. I do not believe that exists for a Succession Ranger. I believe that there is some classes that is much more even to fight for us, and then there is some classes where it doesn't matter how well you play it, we will still lose the fight unless the opponent screws up. I'm looking at usage and sorcerers. It doesn't really matter how well you play it against some classes, you're still gonna lose it because they are playing on your disadvantages. They are playing where your weakness is, and that's just something that punishes you very, very hard as a Succession Ranger. But yeah, we have some obvious pros and cons. To name them a bit, we have defending ourselves can be hard, especially against some classes. But if you want to know more about what classes I think we can fight and what we can't and why, let me know. Either here or you can go to my Twitch and talk to me there, but that would have to be for another time. We do not have that many protections as you may see at other classes, so we would have to do with what we got. We have a few frontal guards, we have one iframe, and we have a few super armors, but it is not a lot if you compare it to other classes. That is why we may need help from teammates and our positioning to defend ourselves. Our sustain is non-existent. This is mostly an issue in PvE, yes, but it is an issue in PvP as well. We do not have any way, aside from health potions, to regain our health. Our mobility is our bread and butter to survive, but most classes can catch up to you by simply dashing. To put this simple, you have to remember this guy that dashes up to you, he catches you instantly. You have to remember that this is his strength, this is your weakness. He is playing on your weakness. Your strength is not to fight this one guy. You are gonna feel weak the moment that this guy just dashes up to you like it was nothing and you can't do anything about it. Just remember that you are not meant to fight this guy right here. You are meant to fight his entire guild at once in a node war. That is our strength. Most of our CC is knockdowns, and that is heavily countered by the current meta adamantine crystals in the booth. This is an issue because we can have a hard time CCing people, and this is especially hurting in 1 versus 1 where you are the target from the opponent that you're fighting, so they can easily get to you because you can't CC them because they are probably gonna resist your knockdowns if you manage to hit it. And last but not least, we have split damage. Split damage has been an issue for Rangers since at the beginning of this game. We have always suffered a lot from split damage. I think the perfect example is probably gonna be Shotgun. Shotgun deals very little damage because of split damage. When there is a bunch of people together, I could see why they would not remove it, but I think they should tone it down just a bit, because right now you can basically counter a ranger by stacking up together, so the ranger hits more than one person. enough about weakness, let's go to the pros. Let's go to our strengths. What are we good at? I would like to point out that we do have a lot of damage. You abuse it with your positioning or by having a team that defends you, because you can be that guy that stands in the backline and deals a shit ton of damage. We as rangers can abuse terrain by a lot. We can climb walls and still deal damage. We can climb rocks and still deal damage. Climb the buildings, climb the hills, climb anything that you can find that you can get yourself above the normal ground. That will give you a huge advantage, and we as a ranger is one of the best, if not maybe the best class to abuse that. Abuse it, abuse it, abuse it. We have a very quick burst damage from a range that I think that most other classes cannot compare themselves to, where you can see other classes cast their abilities. You can see them casting, you can see them charging up their abilities. You know the damage is coming. Rangers can basically blasting gust, kick cancel, penetrating wind in an instant, and if you are not tanky, this is gonna one-shot you. This is not unusual that I once had people with this combo in Node Wars. Good sustained AoE damage. Yes, descending current, everybody knows it. Everyone who played Node Wars, everyone who played Siege, especially in Siege, they know that rangers like to spam descending current, and there is a reason for it. This ability does a ton of AoE damage, and we can basically spam it. It does reduce damage on cooldown, but it still does a pretty good amount of damage. Abuse it. We are very good at holding choke points. Again, this is descending current, it is ranged knockdowns. You combine that with guilt traps and your teammates. We are very good at holding a choke point. This is especially effective if you play Siege. Everyone who played Siege knows what I'm talking about. It can be insanely hard to get through a choke point when a lot of rangers and witches and wizards and whatnot is standing there and spamming AoE abilities in one spot, and our descending current is doing an amazing job at this, and we are a big part of holding that choke point. Abuse it. So yes, advantages, disadvantages, ranger has it all, just like any other class in this game. One thing is for sure, I think this class is amazing to play. I think it's very fun, and if you want to make it work, I think you can make it work. If you think that I have missed anything in this video, please let me know in the comments, or go to my Twitch and tell me I'm a douchebag. In the end of the day, it's about having fun. We play this game for fun. If you do have fun playing Ranger, keep at it. If you don't, well, I would find something new. One thing is for sure, it's gonna end right here, right now.